Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. Today I am presenting you with the scariest thing known to artists, a pure, blank, white canvas. Because it is time to start a new picture. And, you know, because this is scary, I'm gonna make it so it's not white. I'm at least gonna make it gray. It makes me feel better about myself, and then eventually I either, well frankly, this one's probably gonna be transparent. So I'm probably just gonna delete this entirely, but, you know, on the times where it's not transparent, I'll just change the color and it's fine. But for now, we're gonna go gray because I find it easier to draw on. I can draw pretty much in any color here, whether it's light or dark, and it'll work out. And today, I wanted to draw Iofifteen from Hololive. I figure that, you know, someday, maybe I should actually draw some VTubers. And I like her. I think it's pretty cool that she can speak like, what, 6 languages? That's pretty sweet. I've always had a hobby around learning languages, but I never actually achieved fluency. I just kind of learned some things. I can generally recognize them when they're spoken, even if I don't understand what they're saying. And, you know, that kind of thing. I also like non-Latin alphabets, and I think that's cool, so... The people that are actually able to achieve fluency are total badasses, in my opinion, so I think they're cool. So I figured that I would go draw her, and her design is nice and simple and suited for the minimalist stuff that I want to draw. Now I just have to figure out what it's actually going to look like, because I have some vague ideas of maybe a pose, perhaps. Perhaps. But, and a couple of ideas. I kind of want to play with her paint splatter aesthetic and stuff. But, that's about all I got for the moment, so I'm gonna be just exploring. I'm gonna start trying to get her pose in. I have a reference sheet up in my browser, and I'm gonna scribble for a second. Just loosen up my hand. I like starting with scribbles. So when I started Yuyoko, I started with a circle, but for this one, I don't quite know if I want her to be in a bubble. So I'm gonna just go right into the pose. So let's, I don't know, I guess there'll like be a head here or something. And that's why I say I have a very vague idea of the pose, but it's super, super vague. And I'm still kind of figuring it out in my head. I'm not sure what direction I want the arm to go, but I have this thought of... I'm just gonna pick a nice color from one of her paint splatters on her clothes here. So sure, I'll take this blue and... I'll throw that in here. And I'll just put down my idea. Once again, being circular because, you know, circles are great. Circles are great for energy, and I enjoy myself some circular energy. It's one of those things that you can really see when somebody does it right, so... And it just adds immediate movement and all these nice things that make me happy. So... Okay, that should be fine. So I have this kind of thought of paint here. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Proportions, not a concern right now. We're back in the territory of pure energy. All right. Where do I want to go from here? That's always the question. So I guess while I start kind of thinking about what I want her body and stuff to be doing, because I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know. I'll be doodling around. The proportions are gonna be nonsense for a bit. Don't worry about it. And all of this is gonna move around a lot. But this is how I always figure out things at the beginning. I'll probably just have this hand doing a thing over there or something. I don't know. But this does tend to be how I get started. I just have the barest of ideas. And I roll with it. And there'll be like the paintbrush or something here. And I'll go ahead and draw that. It'll be a flesh color for now. That's fine. It could be a flesh color for a little bit. Should probably be more like... here. So yeah, I'll just be embracing the energy and seeing what happens. I'm not going to name the layers yet. They'll get named eventually. Name your layers. It'll help later, I promise. Let's see. I don't like the angle of the shoulders yet. I'm realizing that I have a certain taste when it comes to poses because this is already kind of having a similar energy to Yuyuko's pose, and I think I will bend this leg, actually. In fact, if you look at the first couple of videos of my Yuyuko drawing, you will see that they are remarkably similar. It's a good pose. No, I want it down. I want it down. I don't want it up. So when it comes to drawing some things, sometimes I go in and I try to think about the pose a little bit more, and sometimes I just jump right in and I just, you know, do stuff like this, where I just kind of scribble around. If I had more than a day to kind of start preparing for this one, I think I would have thought about it a little bit more, but I didn't. I finished Yuyuko on a Wednesday. So I just kind of have to jump right in. We're just gonna go. It's fine. We will discover this pose together. So I had a couple of goals for this one. First, I just wanted to draw something minimalistic again. So here, I'm gonna be trying to keep my colors to a minimum. And I'll probably only use... hard to say, because she has a few colors on her. Like, the skin tone, I'm probably at some point just gonna turn it completely white. Maybe I should do that now, actually. Yeah, I think so. Okay, we're gonna turn it completely white. And then her hair will also just be completely white. And knowing me, I'll probably use some variation of black somewhere, but I don't know yet. I'm looking at her design, and I think white and maybe the 4 colors of paint on her might be nice, because there is a pink, and she does use pink in some other aspects of her design. There's... the only one that wouldn't be a one-to-one match would be the overalls, which maybe I can just make blue, or maybe I won't. Yeah, and then there's the bright green in her shoes, the end of the hairband, the yellow in her hair clip. And then, okay, no, there's a 5th color, purple in her eyes. Okay. So yeah, I'll probably just use white, and then all the colors kind of splattered on her. I think that seems like a cool idea. But we'll leave this flesh tone for now, because I don't know what color I'm going to make that yet. Like I said, we're not going to mind proportions yet. I just want to get the energy of the pose down. I have found that I apparently like drawing heads at this angle. Maybe I should do it this way. I don't know. It's fine like this for now. Anyway, my goals for this one specifically, I wanted to draw something in my minimalist style again, because it's been a little while, and it's cool, and I was going through some old art again, and I'm just like, oh yeah, but when I do this, it's cool. You know what, let me show you one of the really cool ones. I don't actually think this will pop up into a window that you can see or anything. Yeah, we're good. Let me just open one, because I have this really neat fan art of Calcit from Arknights that I think is cool. And I still like it, even though I drew it, like, I don't know, was it last year or the year before? I can't even remember. But, there we go. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I'm going for. Just, you know, this one was done with black, and what I'm working on now is going to be more in white. But when I do this right, I just absolutely adore it. So anyway, that one started looking crazy like this too. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Things will be changing a lot. So I wanted to do something with my minimalist style, because it has been a while and I miss it. Yeah, let's maybe do a foot like this. That seems pretty cool. But we had this foot out here doing foot things, and that one out there doing something like this. I'll just erase there for now so I can kind of see the foot better. And then, the second goal with this was not just to draw the minimalism, it was also to elevate it. Elevate, I think, is the correct term here. Because I want to make it cooler. I want to make it super neat. And I think I learned some interesting things from doing Inktober last year. And I would like to kind of bring in some of the neat texturing I was able to do there. Try to find like pose inspiration or anything. And did not try to hammer out the pose in my head right away. Because this is already going to be a very science-heavy, a very experimentation-heavy drawing. So I was like, you know what? We're embracing it. We're going for it. I'm gonna show you what I do when I'm trying things. You got a little taste of that with Yu Yuko. But that one, I spent a bit more time just really looking through things, and that was also the second piece that I drew in that style. The first one being the header on my YouTube channel. And I mean, I've drawn minimalist stuff a lot in the past. I'm gonna name this right away. That is true. It is absolutely true. But but I am trying to do a bunch of new things with it. So, like I said, let's just embrace the science, and things are gonna look funky for a while. Don't worry about it. Let's bring your legs back up here. We're gonna have perspective, apparently. It's okay. Perspective is pretty cool. Okay, I think I have an idea of where I'm going with this. Let's see, how do I want to place the elements, though? I'm getting some idea of where things are in my head. And I mean, all this perspective and stuff it's gonna... A lot of it is probably gonna go away when it comes time to actually fix proportions and stuff. But since I am still currently working in pure energy, pure vibes, it is totally fine for me to just kind of put the perspective in now and worry about the rest later. Because the perspective is a very important part to getting vibes. And here I'm just trying to figure out kind of how I want to pose the legs, because that's going to determine many a thing. And like I said, gonna look a bit weird for a bit. Let's just get some black in here, so this way I can kind of see how things will be twisting and all that good stuff. And I'll go ahead and just put a little black line on the base of her chin here, just so I know the difference between her body and her head, since it's all white. A lot of the way that I do this is, you know what, no, let's just do this the usual way. What I'm eventually gonna do is I'm probably just gonna paint things in loud colors like this, and all the parts are just gonna look like, I don't know, neon graffiti. But that's what makes it easy for me to see. So we will roll with it. Okay. So we're gonna do some perspective on the hand again. I'm gonna put the arm on another layer. And I will make that one, let's see, we did hot pink for the head, so let's do... No, I can't do blue for that. Let's do a bright yellow. So this is gonna be like her shoulder here. And then her hand's gonna come out. And I guess I'll make the hand a bright red. And, okay, hold on. I need to reference my hand for a moment. Once again, I draw foreshortening and torture myself for no reason, but it's okay. It's fine. So we're gonna have, like, head's gonna go below all this. Okay, we're gonna have, like, fingers going out, doing things. They're gonna be holding a brush. This looks... Okay, it's vaguely in the right direction. Don't worry about it. Brush placeholder. I guess it can go in the hand. And it is going to come very much forward. Gonna look a bit silly. I'll just put it on top of the hand for now. Maybe I'll make it a stylus instead of a brush. But no, she does a lot of traditional too, I think. I don't know, but I'll worry about it. It is something. I'll draw a line here just so I can understand the perspective a little bit. Let's see. It's like, I don't know, her character design desires brushes, I think. since it all is more based on actual paint. Yes, so I will go with the brush, and then I see that she has some actual paintbrushes in a pocket attached to her thigh here, so let me zoom in on those and... Oh, man. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I can just do the round kind that I was kind of thinking about. Okay, let's see if I can draw that. Let's just... I don't know what I want to call the layer yet. I'm not going to worry about it. Sure, apparently it's going to be orange. And then kind of vaguely brush tip shape here. Yeah. I'm seeing it. And we put some blue paint on top. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go put all this into a group. Okay, brush. I'll call this base, and I'll call this brush tip. Okay. And this is probably going to move around a million times. So I'm not worried about getting it to look perfect or anything. I just need to make sure that I have all of the elements where I want them before I start refining things. We are nowhere near refining things, so it's fine. So all I know is I'm going to have this big circular paint thingy that's clearly coming out of this brush. These colors are going to be the same. And... I don't know. She's spinning around because spinning is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and put the head into a group now. And... what do I want to be doing with her other hand? I'm probably just gonna do something similar to what I did with Yuko, where it just goes like way far back into the distance. And let's draw something there just so I can see the edge where it just kind of gets tiny. Because this is such an easy way to do that kind of perspective. And then we just plop it on back there, and that is fine for now. So, let's see. There's the center of her body. How do I want it to be twisting? Like, right now I kind of have it this direction, which is something I could do if I want, but maybe I want to do it more twisty. I don't know. Do I want her to be moving away here? Let me picture a nice spin in my... Let me just picture that. So... what do I think the coolest spin I could possibly draw is? So one other thought that I had was, let's grab another paint color. I think one of the darker ones will look good here. So I'll try the purple. But, you know, all of this is placeholder. I can change my mind as much as I want. Was that she's like stepping and making a big ol' splash in the paint here, and this will look better eventually. So just nah, I want to do the shape again because it doesn't have the right energy. I've already said that here we're working in pure energy. So if it doesn't have the right energy, like that's a case for redrawing. So it's just like splattering around. And there's like, I don't know, splat. It's splashy. So something like that, where she's kind of coming down and splashing in that color. So that tells me that the spin that I'm planning, like, she's clearly going this way, right? Going around like this. And she's probably either jumping or spinning on her heel here. Either landing on the ground or spinning on the heel. Let me think about that. If I want her head going that way, I might not want her head going that way. Let's see what it looks like the other direction. I do kind of want her to be looking in the direction that she's going, or maybe not. So I'm just thinking of the kind of feelings that I want the user to have when looking at this, and I do think part of it is just going to be this nice sense of freedom. Freedom is a great feeling. So besides everything being really, really round, everything needs to be really, really free. Free and having fun. You see, when I was drawing Yuyuko in the last one, she was supposed to be kind of more elegant. Whereas here, I'm not really going for elegance. I'm going for fun and freedom. So, I definitely want her chest to feel very open. Her chest to be very open, and so that means that, like, her arms have to be back. Definitely. Have to be kind of... Well, let me draw a stick man here, where we kind of have a thing going here where, you know, we have the arched back and then arms coming out here, just like you're drifting in the clouds, but less peaceful, because it's also fun. Drifting in the clouds is free and relaxing, but this is more supposed to be free and fun, so it needs to be very energetic. I'm not quite sure where I want the other paint colors to be yet, or if there's even going to be others, you know. These things, I will figure them out with time. All I really had was just the idea of a vague idea of the pose and this big streak of paint. That was largely the extent of the idea that I had at the beginning. And this is how I workshop things. Now just naming my layers. Okay. Okay. This brush is not large enough. There we go. That's better. That probably means that her hand isn't really large enough either, but I am a little bit less concerned with that for the time being. But that kind of idea, I like that kind of idea. So let's see, if I want her body to be balanced with the foot kind of sticking out, and this one, like, this isn't in the right place yet, with that one kind of swinging around her. So I think what I want is something like... So this is her side. I'm just going to draw it in black. Eventually all of this will be white and other colors, but I need things to kind of help me see the perspective that I want. And her head is going to be very much like... With the perspective that I have going here, we're kind of going for a thing like this. where it's all funneling downward and her head will be sitting on top there. If you guys saw the picture of the very sad girl that I drew recently, it's going to be kind of a similar idea. So her shoulders will kind of be coming out here. And it's going to look a bit strange for a while. Okay, let's go hide the forward arm for a second. So this way I can get her shoulder in. We're using yellow for the shoulder. I think I will actually pull that out and put it with the body. And it's going to be like here, I guess. I think that's roughly where her shoulder is in this pose that I have so far. Like the center, why I have it twisting, is going to be something way over here, right? So we have like the side of her body here. Chest is going to be like right around here. Let's go ahead and hide the... No, I don't want to hide the paint streak right now because I'll reduce the opacity of the paint streak. But I need it there. The energy is too... I can't get rid of it. Let's actually connect her arm to all this. Then we have, like, her chest through here. I'll just make it black, it's fine. Kinda... that's a bit too large here. She does not have a super large chest or anything. And then the other one is going to be like over here somewhere. Go ahead and draw those on. They're convenient landmarks. Stomach is going to come down in, and eventually her hips should come in, but her hips are actually going to be like underneath her. Due to this perspective, much like the head is like on top of the shoulders, so we don't see her neck at all. Her neck is going to be like somewhere here. Like if I hit her head, her neck would be something somewhere like this, I think. Behold how I figure out my perspective and whatnot. So I think her neck would be somewhere over there. Then we'd have shoulders coming out this way. This one coming out this way. This is starting to look all right. Huh. Why is... I am confused. Do I have two layers there? Did I, like, merge it with the body or something? Wait a second. Why do I have an extra thing? Okay. Krita's being weird, I guess. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna do my best to ignore it. How very strange. Whatever. Okay. I can work with it, I think. I'm gonna try to get rid of it just to make sure I don't have stray pixels somewhere. It like thinks that there's something else extra in my head group. What the heck? Are you allowed to, like, draw on groups now? No? Okay, I want to keep my head, so I will... Quick ungroup. Okay. Well, that was awkward. No idea what happened there. But, I guess I'll, keep on going. Anyway, this needs to be way more round, because it's like... it shouldn't be that big, though. Like her shoulder is going to be normal-sized. But it should definitely be more round, because it's, her arm is going to be coming out and kind of towards us. Foreshortening. Why do I have to like you so much? Okay. Then we have her side. This part is going to look like normal sized, and eventually it's going to go down and be, I guess, kind of awkward shaped. And okay, so yeah, now I can actually go back to what I was talking about before on how her hips are going to be literally under her torso because of the perspective I want. I think that's fine for where her neck is going to be. I want it to be a little bit more shaped upward here. And I mean, we're not going to see any of this, so it doesn't really matter how I draw it, but it'll help me figure out the perspective for everything else. So I still consider it kind of important. I do. Okay, so now we got an arm back there. I think her chest might still be a little bit large. I'm not going to worry about the perspectives or the proportions just yet. I'm going to focus on the perspective because I think if I do both at once, I'm going to have a bad time. So, let's get her legs underneath her now. I'm going to go put these on a different layer. I will probably split these into separate parts at some point, but for now, we're going to make them neon yellow. There we go. Now I can see. So I don't think we're going to see any of the space between her legs. And things down here are going to start getting very, very narrow. That might be too much, but it's fine. I'm going to be cutting off a lot of that part here. And then let's see here. I'll do... I guess I'll go ahead and separate them now. This will be leg splash. The other one will be leg bent. Okay. So what I want to do with this is I'm gonna just use the transform tool and do a silly thing like this. Like I said, still working on vibes. Still just working on vibes here. Let me round off this bottom part just a little bit more, make the perspective look a little bit more extreme. I think I want it to be a little bit shorter too. Things are gonna look funky for a while, but it's all good. Eventually, this will be all one solid color. And then I'll do a thing like this. So I think I have two options with that leg there. I can either do it like that, where I have it bent, or I could straighten it out and do something like that. Nah, I think it looks better bent. Okay, I think I can get behind this kind of thing here. And then the paint splash will just be underneath her, and her feet will still be hitting this point once all is said and done. So let's bring this up a little. Okay. I think I still want to, like, where's her belly button in this angle? It's going to be like somewhere around here. So I think I want to cut this off until right around there in order to get this kind of perspective right. Why do I enjoy the difficult fisheye perspective so much? You know, it was funny, while I was doing my practice drawing of the very sad girl, I was like, okay, I'll do a fairly simple straight-on pose. She'll just be looking up at us, and that'll be great. It was great. And then somewhere I was like, you know what I think would make this look really good? Weird fisheye perspective. I feel like I'm doing it again here. I was like, okay, yeah, let's just do a nice little spinning pose, and all will be well there. And now I'm just like, you know what makes everything better? Weird fisheye perspective. I'm not wrong, unfortunately. And I just realized that we're actually seeing the base of the neck from the top, so I should be drawing it like this. It's like, no wonder it looked weird. Okay, so here we go. How Planckera figures out poses, but it's clear to me. I have a vision now. I have a vision now, which is both wonderful and dangerous. So at this point, things are no longer at the point where I can say whatever I draw is fine. Now it's got to be moving toward the vision. I should just put this on a new layer right now before I start hitting myself. And you know what? Well, we're just doing all the limbs in bright yellow. Let's do it. Limbs, now back bright yellow. That's fine. I can work with this. This is gonna need to be way smaller if this is a hand. And then we just kind of have the arm going back here. It's gonna be straight. I guess it'll probably do something like that. So it'll be more normal size near the top, and then it's just gonna get super tiny. That hand probably still a bit too big, but it's fine. Let's give her a thumb just so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. Completely wrong, but it's fine. Okay. Now I have distorted this enough that the chest I drew no longer resembles something human. Actually, a very little of what I've drawn resembles anything human. I'd say it's fine since Iofifteen is an alien, but it's fine. She has the appearance of a human girl, so I should still try to make her resemble a human. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna clear all this. It helped me get as far as I did, but now it's wrong. So I'm gonna clear it all and I'm gonna focus on getting her shoulders good. Windows still out here nagging me. Nagging me to reboot, and I am not all for it. Okay, so this shoulder, when you raise your arm, like I'm kind of doing here, the shoulder goes up. The angle of the body, I want it to be more this direction. Currently, I have it this direction, and so I should fix that. I'm gonna put the neck on a different layer. I guess I'll just try to get the black part. Okay, and we'll go ahead and erase some stuff. There we go. And then I will draw the neck proper here. You see very little of the underside, but I do think we see a little bit. And then I think at some point I'm going to put more paint splatter and various things in different places. And I think that'll look pretty cool, but I think that's... Is that correct from the neck? The head will be sitting on top of it. It's just going to be chilling like that. Probably not that big, but probably not actually that much smaller. Just with the weird perspective I have going on here. I'll figure out how the face is gonna pan out in a little while. I just need to think about this for a second. Art is hard, okay? How much of the neck do we actually see? Or like, not quite looking directly above, but pretty close. So... maybe kind of like this. Look, I've been trying very hard to make my drawings a little bit more structural. So that this way I get things in the right place the first time, and I don't have to spend 50 million years flailing around correcting proportions. Okay, but that seems okay. And then we have the body, and maybe I'm gonna do the neck in a different color here. Let's... if yellow is for limbs, then we'll do orange for the neck. I'll go ahead and just do it like this. There we go. Make my life a little bit easier. Okay, so neck is orange. Sounds good to me. So since this is mostly going to be on top, that means that the shoulders will kind of be coming out here. And we probably see some of the kind of backside of her body. Well, no we don't, because her back is arched this way. Oh yes, just putting a nose on the chest of my character, it's fine. So we have this coming down here. It's going to be where we see the chest here. And then it just goes straight down. But that's not quite it either. So there's gonna be like cross sections in various places, but okay. Another case of I need to be able to picture this in my head. So I'm gonna break out the squares. I'm gonna break out the cubes. Okay. No cylinders are allowed. So, let's go revisit the neck again. So here's where the head attaches. What do necks do after the head attaches? They get a little bit narrower. Which means that this should probably be a little bit more narrow. Actually, it's probably mostly this side that should be a little bit more narrow. Okay. Okay, getting somewhere. And which is the front and which is the side? So, like, here's the front. I'll go use a slightly darker orange for the side. So, side is going to be like over here. Yes. Oh, you are the front. And you are the side. We're seeing her from kind of the side. Which means that this should indeed be a little bit more like this. We should not see both sides. Not how perspective works. I swear, I am like 100 times more rambly than usual because I am just trying to figure out how 3D space works. I'm trying very hard. Okay, here we go. And I connect this a little bit more over here, and we're gonna bring this in. Okay, look at neck like. Now then, if we're gonna use black and white for the body, I'm fine with this. Let's do the upper body and the lower body separately. So, upper body. How exactly is she bending here? I'm kinda... I guess going for this kind of gesture. So the chest goes out, and then things go down into her hips. Okay, I can do that. Let's see here. So how much at the top of the shoulders do we see? Here, if I think of the body as a cube, I need a third color. I need a color for the top. I guess I'll do white for the top, and we'll do purple for the sides, since that's kind of close to pink. And pink is what I'm using for the head. So white will be for the top. Since that is where light would hit, and that's what makes sense to me, I'm going to go ahead and kill her shoulder for now, and I'll go ahead and kill her back arm too, just so that they do not distract me. Okay. So now we have a top plane, and this will be a front plane, and then this will be the side plane. And I think that the side plane is actually going to be much larger than this. Let's see, and the front plane is going to be kind of turned upward. At least with my conception of it in my head. Let's do upper body. So I guess I'll call this... I don't want it to be upper body and lower body. I'll call you torso and hips. Even though that's not exactly what it is, it's fine. It is close enough. Actually, rather than erase what I have here, I'm just gonna steal it. No, not in the back arm. There we go. Okay. And we will hide the hips layer for now. Okay. Okay. So with the way I kind of want her to be facing, let me kind of do the pose myself here as much as I can while I'm sitting down. Gonna push my microphone out of the way for just a moment here. It might creak a little. I apologize for that. Okay. I feel it. So, I'm plop down some purple colors in some various spots. I have something going on in my head that kind of makes sense to me. The very top is going to be kind of like this. Where it kind of tilts back. Like I said, I'm breaking out the rectangles, so things are going to be very square. This is like the opposite of round, So that'll definitely be no good later, but it will help me for the time being. And that's kind of what I need right now. I need so much help for the time being. Okay, so seeing kind of the top of her shoulders there. How do I get it to go down? We do this. And this is actually needs to be like way over here. This is not connected correctly yet, but that's okay. Let me get the front and the side plane here. This will be this direction. Incidentally, this is kind of what I'm doing to try to put more structure into the head as well, just a little bit less, or a little bit more square. What I do with the head is a little bit less square. Okay. Oop. That's going way too far back. No, this isn't working. What do I do instead? Okay, I'm going to turn this layer back on, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black again, and I'm going to draw a quick gesture line. So we're going to have her head up here. I'm going to set this to difference. Okay. And... oh, why are you not... maybe exclusion will do it? Do I need you to be white in order to... okay. That works, I guess. Okay. So now I will have a color that changes into other colors for me as it goes through things, and this is going to be kind of my line of action here. So we have a head. It's going to be around there. And she's kind of doing this kind of shape. Actually, I think I want this leg to be a little bit more under her. So I'm going to hide the legs for now. Since, you know, everything's wrong right now, so it's fine. I think I will even hide the torso itself. I'll just keep the neck. So we're going to have a head here. Then I kind of want her chest coming out. And eventually, it'll come down into a leg that's kind of underneath her. No, I don't like that. So we have a chest out. I like that part. I just need to figure out how to meld it into the rest of her body here. And then maybe a leg coming down. Let's locify this a little. This is exactly why I need more structure in my life. Because if I can master actually structuring out my drawings a little bit more, I do think that I will be able to do way more cool things with perspective. And I do like doing cool things with body perspective. Yeah, I can't actually have it tilt like that, can I? I need it to be... okay, that might be why I was having so many problems. So this is kind of what I'm doing now. Is I'm kind of figuring out the general gesture of the pose. This is just going to be like a line of action. Her legs will go through this, but it's not necessarily going to be like the center of her body or anything. I'm just trying to figure out the energy of the pose. And sometimes I do that by actually drawing limbs and stuff, but here, because I'm doing so many shenanigans with perspective, trying to do it that way was driving me a little bit crazy. So I figured that I'd do it with just a singular line, and then I could kind of figure out where the rest of this should go. Okay, so in theory, we have this, and then, like, we have a chest here, hips around here, and then legs. Okay, I think I can work with that. So what I actually want her chest to be doing, it does mean that on her neck, I think that the front plane actually will be going out this way. So we'll see a little bit less of that side. And then on the front plane, it's going to be tilted back, but maybe a little bit more like this. Or this is the front. I'll kind of match it up with her neck here. The black is throwing me off, so I'm going to erase it all real quick. And then it'll get narrower at the bottom. I'm not sure if this is right for the shoulders, or torso may need to go a little bit further to the side. Okay, that seems pretty all right there. I'm not quite sure if I'm happy with how it's moving exactly. Yeah, there we go. Let's... I could afford to make things a little bit rounder, I guess. But this is letting me see it, so that's what's important, I think. I'm not sure if the neck is exactly in the right location, but this is helping me follow my line of action a little bit more closely, so I'll take it. Let me move the neck over just a little. Okay. And then we have the side, which will be the black part here. I'll kind of have it follow the same shapes. And then I have to figure out how the heck the shoulders work. Okay. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. You know, it's funny. I've been talking about trying to be faster at drawing. And then I keep wanting to do stuff like this. I feel like it's kind of been my curse with speed. Because, I mean, at first, I was quite slow. But I think if I was trying to draw the portraits that I was drawing in my first year of art, I could probably draw them pretty quickly. Actually, I definitely could, because they're not that much more complicated than than my practice heads that I've been posting. But as I got better, my ambition grew, and I started wanting to do many a thing. And I think that's where the real problem was. Okay, let's give her some hips here. I think that's where the real problem is. Just my ambition grew, and I started drawing more complicated things, and so I started taking the same amount of time. It's just... what I was drawing was more interesting and more complex. Let's see here. Maybe let's let her twist a little bit here. And so now I'm wanting to do things like this. Way to go, me. Unironically, definitely a good thing. But, man. Sometimes I wish I could just draw simpler things. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit more of a twist here. We're gonna let the side here start getting narrower as we go up. And I think that this is correct, question mark. I say with minimal confidence, but I think this is okay. How are we looking? Where's her belly button? Like, right here, right? No, I think it's a little bit lower. Let me... Probably a little bit smaller, too. There we go. I think that's right. Then we'll have her chest up here. And I think that twist is pretty good. I'll be able to make it look like her arm is going a little bit... I don't know, do I want it to go, like, this way? Or would I rather have it go more like this way? Like, this looks like it's going down, but I can only draw in 2 dimensions here, so... So maybe I don't want it going quite that far. Maybe I would prefer if this was... like this. And then... on my hip side, I just bring the side a little bit further. Which would actually put her belly button more over here. And it does mean that I need to adjust the shape of her tummy area just a little bit. And now I'll reattach the hips. They'll be narrower, but they'll be getting a little bit wider near the bottom. Just because that's what hips do. At least in girls. Okay. Yeah. And then maybe this shouldn't be quite so large. Okay, I'm not sure if I have the... I like the twist going across the body this way. I'll draw it up here. The twist I've got going on up here where her body's kind of doing this. Where the center starts up here and then gets a little bit further out the further that she goes. I think that looks nice. But for one, I'm not sure if it's actually in the right spot. And for 2... I don't think I quite like what's going on with her back here. I think... I wanted to come in a little bit more and then have the hips kind of come out a little bit more. And then her shoulders should be going a little further back. We're just gonna curve this a little bit more, basically. It's okay, they're rectangles. They're just rounded rectangles. So that this way, I can picture the shapes a little bit. And I am tilting my head something fierce here. It's okay. It's necessary. Indeed, her belly button should still be a little further over on the side here. There we go. Centers like doing this. Yeah, I think that'll be a nice twist. A nice, little twist happening there. I think that looks pretty good. Now then, I need to... I'm gonna break out the liquify tool again, because liquify tool is God. It helps me out with everything. Okay. So I just need to get the bottom of this really, really, really round. Because that's what I do when I want to do extreme perspective. I just make it really, really round and it works for me. God, I feel like I'm gonna lose 100% of the energy, though. I feel like I already have, and that kind of sucks. Okay. Let me try to get a little bit of it back. Maybe I can do something with the arm here. I'll do the arm and the hand separately. Wait, why are you not closing? There you go. And then you will be a different color. Sure. Green works for me. Okay. Now then. I'm going to connect this to her shoulder. Let me take the color and then I'm just going to kill it. And her shoulder is like doing something like this. And okay. And come on over. And with any luck, I can bring some of the energy back here. Okay. Let's see, I kind of put my center line in there. Let me make it a little bit more accurate. That might also bring a little bit of the energy back. This has been one of my reoccurring problems with drawing stuff, is that, man, once I feel like I start getting stuff accurate, I feel like I lose a lot of the energy in my initial sketches. Just because it takes me a while to really get it drawn right, and it makes me sad. Alright, let's get this arm back on her shoulder. This might be a little bit large now. Okay, I think that's on her shoulder. And I guess I'll put the head on. The head is definitely not right, but that's fine. It does need to be pretty large, just based on how everything else is being drawn. And since I just have a general shape for the moment, I'm going to move her chin just a little. This is why I said we would definitely not see her neck, but it was still useful to help me figure out where her shoulder should be. I think her shoulders might still be a little bit too narrow. Okay, I think that's... Let me move her arm here. I'm just gonna try to get her head proportionate to the stuff that I was drawing there. And then I'll worry about the arm. Kinda try to get all this located in a good spot. This might be a little small. Let me go ahead and make it kind of see-through, so this way I can see where I think her neck should be. And thus I'll know roughly where I should attach her head, in theory. I say in theory because, I mean, it doesn't guarantee that I have it all right, but I know, I think this is pretty okay. Okay. Yeah, this seems pretty alright. And then we have the shoulder here. Let's go ahead and bring our other arm out, and I will try to get this attached to where her shoulder should be in theory. Gonna be like, so there's her hand. So I think it should be like right around, no, it's gonna be going out. So maybe like right around there in theory? Where's her shoulder? Do I still even have that layer? I do. Most excellent. Let's go ahead and attach that. So that'll be doing something like this. Shoulder probably right about here. That seems about right. And then hand. And then the arm will kind of be coming out of that. Let's see. Maybe just a little bit more this way, but otherwise, yes. Tentatively, this seems okay. This seems okay. Now let's try to get a little bit more energy that I feel like I lost from her torso back into this. And is the head too big? No, I think the head is fine. But I think isn't right is here. Okay. Let's get her chest on there. I will go ahead and use green for it. So I think her chest is just gonna be sitting right here. Doing things like this. And the side is like here, I guess. And then the top of it, based on the, or I guess the highest point is probably going to be like here. I don't know, is YouTube going to be upset if I actually mark that? It would be incredibly helpful for me, but maybe I should just do a cross section instead. The downside to drawing pictures for the internet, you gotta think about these things. But yeah, not exactly accurate, but it's a start, I guess. I think that might still be a little bit too big. But they kind of have to be a little bit big just because of the angle that I'm drawing at, and that's just kind of how it is. That's just kind of how it is. It's fine, I guess. Can you tell I do not know how to draw breasts? Let me just poke at it with the liquify tool here, and I'm sure eventually it'll look right to me. I'm trying to get away from doing the whole poke at things until it looks right, just because I do think it slows me down, but like, these don't have to be perfect. They're going to be covered up by a shirt and overalls and stuff. I just kind of want to know where they are. Maybe a little bit too high. And then we perspective them. So that this way it's all a little bit larger on the top, and hopefully that'll perspective things a little bit for me. Okay. Oops, no, not warp, not cage. Just liquefy. I think I'm gonna start over. Okay. Let's try to take a little bit more of a structural approach here. So, cross section of the body here. We got the belly button there. So this will be like this. This is a parallel line. So I think that like right in the middle of that is where I want these to be kind of coming out. This might be enough information for me. Yeah, this seems alright. This seems alright. That's enough information. Okay. I'll leave it like that. And is that showing the angle that I want things to be going at? This probably makes a little bit more sense. In which case, this is actually going to be more like the center of it. It's going to be doing stuff like this. But it's facing this way. That should be fine. Okay. Next. Let's try to get our hips going again. This is a little bit too large, I think. Because I was pulling it out when I was doing a bunch of liquefy. So let's just make that a little bit smaller. And then I think I would like to tilt her back just a little bit more. Okay, that seems all right. And then I want to push her hips back a little bit more. I want to stretch them a little. I want to stretch them out a little. We'll stretch out her tummy just a bit here. Okay, that seems all right. Let's go ahead and connect these. Okay, getting a little bit of the energy back. Maybe. Because I was a little bit sad before. So the center line is still gonna do something like this. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm still getting somewhere here. Still gonna make him just a little bit shorter. Sorry, today is very much a Planckera needs like 100% of her brain. So, in order to actually make in order to do something like this. So, this means that in theory, one leg should be coming out here, and then the other one should kind of be connecting back at a place where we don't see it. Kind of like this arm. In fact, I think that arm is a little bit too high. Okay, that seems a little bit better. So, let's go take a look at the legs. It's fine. It's fine. This is what got me started. So, we have a leg. It's gonna be straight. I'm actually gonna get rid of the little foot that was helping me out earlier. And we have the side of the leg, in theory. Oh no, you can't be locked anymore. This is clearly too large. Okay. Doing good. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. And then we have the tiny little foot that I kind of had going on there. It's going to be super, super tiny. Except if I want it... Let's see, how should her leg be twisting? I think I kind of like it twisting like that, because like this continues, and if we see this as the front of the leg and the black as the side, then if I have this showing mostly the front, even though her body is twisting that way, this means that her foot is moving in this direction, which fits with her body moving in that direction. Okay, cool. Checks out. Checks out. So we'll see a little bit more of the side here, and then like none of the side here. And I'm actually going to put this little foot on a separate layer. This is going to be foot. Okay. So, what has to happen with the foot? I want it to be tilting upward. So, like, we're making it so that her heel is hitting the splash here, and her foot's going to do something... Where we have the heel here, and then her toes are going to come up. So that's the shape that I've been drawing there. Heel there, fans out to toes. These pictured toes. But the thing is that with the perspective that I have all this drawn at, is that the foot has to be behind the leg. The toes will probably be sticking out in front of the ankle. But let's go ahead and get the rest of her leg done here. We're gonna roll this so it's super round once again. Gonna be super duper round. And at least at this point I can kind of see what I'm doing. So like her knee is probably somewhere around here. I'll go ahead and draw it, I guess. I'll just mark it, because I don't actually really know how it's gonna look yet. I'm pretty sure we will not see very much knee, but I will... I don't know, give it some nice stuff, I guess. And let's get the thigh going in here. Not gonna have super juicy thighs or anything. They're gonna be just kind of going into the back. Once again, not really showing off body parts or anything, just doing things in squares, so she's going to be super blocky for a while longer. Maybe I should do shin and thigh separately. That might actually make it easier for me to see. So let's do this. This will be thigh splash. And then I will take this lower half. I will cut it out, and you will be shin. Okay, so I will hide that, and we'll just focus on getting a nice thigh shape here. With her leg starting to twist forward. So this means at the front, it'll still kind of connect there in theory, and then I will twist it. I still think this might be a little bit long. send the legs back a little. Yeah, there we go. Legs should be... I don't know, man. How to perspective. Once again, cursing my love of extreme perspective, but I cannot deny how much I enjoy it. It cannot be done. It is too fantastic. It is too great. It makes me too happy. Okay. Let's go ahead and get a calf shape, I guess. So... I'll make you a slightly different color. Yeah, sure. I'll use the orange. I don't have you... There we go. So this will be orange. And then the foot will be... green. Sounds good to me. So her legs are going to be super duper tiny in this kind of perspective. Once again, I'm still not quite sure if I have it right. Her head, can't tell if it's... But I'll just keep going for now. Right now, I will focus heavily on just the perspective. And when the time comes, then I'll focus a little bit more on proportions and stuff. I mean, I'm kind of doing them together a little bit. I think to an extent I kind of have to. And then we have a tiny little foot at the bottom here. And the foot will actually overlap here just a little, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, at this angle we actually see a little bit more of the top of the foot, even when it's, even when she's supposed to be like stepping on her heel, but we're just seeing her such extreme from the top that even so we will still just largely see the top of her foot. I'll just put a tiny little foot in there. Okay. Let's go do the other leg. We'll see how much of this I need to kind of pull shenanigans with. So here we'll have a thigh kind of coming out here. And where he's coming out is over on a side that we can't see, so that's not where it should be pointing, more or less. And we're just gonna see the extreme top of this. Because, like, the other side of her hip is over here. Like, we don't see it. It's just over there. But I can see it. So that means that most of her thigh is going to be like behind her. And then you got the other part of her leg coming down here. This will be kind of the shin and calf area. And I'll still make another... I'll still make another green spot for this foot. And it'll be doing something like that. That still doesn't quite seem right. But I definitely can't leave things at fine for now at this point. But it's something. Maybe it's a little bit too small. Okay. This is indeed just kind of what I'm going for the general pose, though. Just super triangle. So the feet kind of come down. And since we're just very much looking at her from the top, yes. Okay, so first step, I do think that perhaps they are a little bit small. Go ahead and group these. And we'll make them a little bit bigger. Okay, and I do think I will make this a little bit longer too. And the foot just a little bit larger. Maybe point it a little bit more that way. Okay. And then for these two, this will be leg bent. And then I can go and make this a bit larger. The thigh in particular. In fact, I think I'm actually going to do the same split. I'm going to go ahead and move the shin here to its own layer. So this will be thigh. Oh, not high. Thigh. There is a T in there. Very important. And this will be shin. And I will make you orange too. There we go. Now then, I would like to group all of these layers into a body group. And before I start making things more proportionate and stuff, and kind of finishing off the perspective, I want to make sure that I have the energy back in the pose, because right now, I still feel like it is severely lacking in energy. And I'm going to grab the liquefy tool on everything. And I'm going to bring this chest up. We're going to bring the chest up. I will probably lose a little bit of structure here, but I cannot deal with the complete lack of energy in this pose. It is making me too sad. Okay, now I want to rotate hips a little. Okay. And I think I want to rotate things up here a little, so that actually has to happen in the group that just has literally everything in it. Okay, got a little bit more energy there. Now then. I think I'm still just going to bring her chest up a little. This is exactly why I put it on a new layer. I wanted her to be puffing out her chest and having a great time. Yofi should be proud of herself. She's doing great work. So let's give her a nice proud chest. Let's give her a nice, proud chest here. Now then, I actually think that this is rotated a bit wrong, just because this arm is going down, whereas this arm is going up. So I need the chest to kind of reflect that. And I think I would like her back arm to be going down a little bit more. I'm going to stick it a little bit more behind her. Okay, there we go. Got a little bit of energy back. And I can see kind of my general structure here. So the next thing I want to figure out is how much of the side of the leg are we seeing and how much of the top of the leg are we seeing? This one. Because in my mind's eye, we are seeing mostly the top. And I don't actually know if that is right. I'm going to make this a bit larger. I think it attaches somewhere back here. And then I would like these two to come a little further back here. Kind of this kind of pose. There we go. Much more triangular. We're going to have the roundest triangle ever here. It's going to be Great. Okay. So here, we're going to take my black and I'm going to figure out how much is this is the top and how much of it is the side. I think it's kind of like this. You can see it's mostly the top, but there is a little bit on the side here. There we go. That's making it make more sense to me. And that's what matters here. Okay. And by the way, when I draw it like anything, it's actually very normal for me to do colors like this because it makes it easy to see. And especially when I'm doing minimalism, like, can you imagine me trying to get this entire pose correct in nothing but white? I mean, just to give you an idea. Let's go ahead and have some fun. Let's just see what things are gonna look like once I actually start getting some of this right, and I'll go ahead and shift it back after. I mean, look at that. Like, do you have any idea what's going on here? Because I sure don't. I sure don't. The colors, they are helping so much. And they're gonna let me know where I should be putting black lines and stuff. But in theory, like, this is roughly what things are gonna look like when the time comes. So, it's all just gonna be one big old silhouette. Anyway, we're undoing that, so this way I can actually see what I'm doing and start perfecting these things before I turn everything solid. And certain aspects of the pose will be lost, but this will let me get the perspective right, and getting those things right is extremely important with minimalism. And what's really going to sell the pose when the time comes is actually going to be her clothes. Because she's going to have, you know, little cuffs around her legs where the pants are, and you know, she's gonna have sleeves on her arms. So I'm not actually sure if we'll see her sleeves at all, but she does have some bracelets and stuff too. And then at some point she's gonna have hair doing hair things, and that'll help. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried in the slightest, but I do want to make sure that everything here is the perspective that I want it to be before I declare it, you know, ready for prime time. And I actually think that I need her torso to be a little bit larger here. Relative to her hips. I'll go ahead and get rid of this line. It's no longer in the right place, but that's fine. I'll go reconnect the hips here. Go ahead and reconnect them. And then at this angle, we won't, you know, see where her legs meet at all. So I don't actually draw that. I just kind of draw the bottom here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Do we see a little bit more shoulder here? That is my current question. I actually think her arm looks pretty okay there, so that kind of tells me no, we don't. I'm gonna... Oh no, this is hip layer. What am I doing? I need to be drawing this on torso layer. I forgot that I switched layers in order to properly draw some stuff. Okay, and then I want her body to be coming in a little bit after this. Give her a little tummy. Alright, seems okay here. Now then, I kind of want to adjust the side a bit. Now I'm kind of starting to get into what some of the final shapes will be, and I do want this to get narrower as it goes down. More perspective shenanigans, of course. Side will get wider up here. And I think that'll kind of connect into her armpit and stuff. So far, so good, I think. So now I'm starting to do things like get the shape of her body. Because I think that'll also help with final proportions. And I mean, the proportions are going to be really weird. Like, really weird. Because that's what perspective does to you. It makes you really weird. But I should be able to figure it out. It's fine. So where are the hips exactly here? A little bit more like this, I think, which makes the hips actually go up like this. Okay, and I'll start messing around with here. Okie dokie. This is the torso. It is the wrong layer. No, that's not quite right. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. Because I think even at this perspective, yeah, we'd still see a shape kind of like that. Where the middle is, like, kind of on the back side, so I think I actually need this to be a little bit more shaped like this. Let me remove her arm for just a sec. Just so I can see some of these things a little bit better. I don't think I need my guideline anymore. I got this. Okay, what I wanted to see was how I connected the top of the side to the top of her body there, and that's... I don't think is right. Let me refresh myself on how perspective works again. So if I have a box... We're gonna draw a box here. And I see the top. And it does stuff like this. Like, obviously this is bad, but to be fair, I drew it in like 5 seconds. So, just to remind myself of how things look. I mean, obviously this is where making a perspective grid and stuff would make more sense, but effort. It's fine. So this means that on the hips... Okay, I put a triangle into the hips, which is complicating things for me. But that's okay. I'm gonna treat the hips like I treat the chin. In my new method of drawing things. So, the hips are basically just the chin for the body. I think I can roll with that. So, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the leg for a sec. I'm gonna hide both of them. I'm gonna hide the legs for a second. And I'm gonna make the chin for the legs. We're gonna put out a nice triangle here. And I'm going to roll it a little. This is where her leg will connect, in theory. Okay. And then the back side here, and I think I drew that in the wrong layer, but oh well. I think it's fine. I actually do think this is fine. I'm kind of seeing things now. I'm seeing the shapes come out of the ether, and it is wonderful. And then the side of the hips should be more like this, and I see that indeed I do have the torso drawn where I shouldn't. And then eventually, with all of this should give me a good idea of how things should be proportioned. Like right now, I think her torso might be a little bit short, for example. So what I'd want to do is drop her hips down. And I will take the part with the belly button, and I will just move him down separately. And I will just fill in the parts I got borked in that move. So here's her side. It's going to twist a little bit further over here. So I want to get that twist in. And what's that going to do to like her stomach? Something like this, I think. I'm just trying to think of this purple part as like a leotard. So I'm kind of going for that shape. And we have a shoulder up here. Okay, that's fine, I think. It's kind of got the shape that I want. Is it a good length? I think I want both of these to be a little bit longer. Size of the chest, maybe also a little bit longer. Let's hide the head for a second so I can, hopefully, in theory, connect this to the neck very well. That seems all right. And now I'll put the head back on. Okay. Go ahead and connect her shoulder again, which I think is gonna be kind of like this, and a little tilted more that way. There we go. And then her forward arm, I will go ahead and connect that. All right. How does this look so far? Let's flip the canvas. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So we have the torso coming a little bit further that way, and then a twist in her side. And I think that's pretty good. There we go. Would you believe that I wanted to draw something nice and simple and just wanted to do some nice minimalism? And then I was like, you know what? Perspective. We're doing it, baby! But I don't know. If you want my opinion, I already think it's worth. I think this is gonna look pretty cool. Look at her go. And besides, I want to be able to draw cool poses. Cool poses are cool. It's in the adjective. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna... We're gonna push you further back. Okay, and then on you, when it comes time to draw her shoe, there's gonna be like... I don't know, it's gonna be like this. This makes sense in my head. I'm sure it'll make sense to you someday. Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. Trust me. I got this. Okay, I'm gonna straighten out this leg just a little bit here. But trust me, I am seeing it. I am seeing it now. Okay, what I gotta do with this thigh here is... we gotta make it big at the top and small at the bottom. So here we go, got the top part filled in. And now I can start making things extreme. Going all the way back to the 90s here, where everything was extreme. Okay. Let's make this a little bit larger up here at the top here. Okay, and then... let's see, in theory, the side of her leg should be doing something like this. And then it just gradually gets thinner as you go down. Or... the side. The part that's the side. Okay, now I need to figure out where her backside is, because we will see that. So I think that's gonna be... something like this. Something like that. I think this is just going to be covered by her clothes, but you know, it's what's going to let me see it so I can actually put the clothes on, so this is fine. And I actually think that this part of her leg is looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and make her shin a little bit more shin-like. And then I think that's doing what I want. I kind of want her foot to show a bit more, but I'm going to worry about the angle of the thigh first. How should you be? How should you exist, my friend? Probably coming out... yeah, I will fix the bottom part once I am happy with the location of the thigh itself. I think that's about right. I think... let's go ahead and draw it in. Because this thigh is going to be more normal sized. It's not going to have a bunch of weird perspective on it. Not quite like this one does, at least. And it's just going to go down into a knee. And it's not going to get super thin or anything. It's just going to get, like, normal thin because... if you look at a leg, things do get a little bit thinner around the knee. That's just what legs do. So... there we go. Let's make things just a little bit thicker up here. Okay. Lower leg actually seems okay now that the top part is fine. Maybe I want this just a touch lower. Okay. Does that look like it's connected to her hips? I don't know. I'm going to start drawing some clothes just so that maybe in theory I can use them to help me picture perspective too. Let's start with her overalls, and for that, at least for the time being, I may change my mind later. I am going to use... Actually, I already have the blue that I want to use right there. Yes. So I'm going to start with the legs. Let me zoom out of my reference here. I was zooming in to take a look at something. Okay. So... the one on the extended leg is going to go just above her knee. That's way too high. It needs to be like right on the knee in order to look right here. Okay. And I'll just bring it up to up here. I'll worry about folds and whatnot later. And then the other one extends just below her knee. So this one will be coming down here. Actually, probably more like here. And then connects out. So something like that. This is not curved nearly enough. Not nearly enough for the ridiculous fisheye perspective I've got going on here. I'm not actually sure if this is properly fisheye, but, you know, it's fine. Okay. Kind of want to see some of my guides here. And then... let's see, it goes... where do the straps go? Kinda just below her bust, I think. So I believe that this is where it will connect there. And what direction should you be curved? Probably kind of like this. Okay. Yeah, that looks like it's wrapping around her. And then we got the shoulder straps that... one kind of hangs off her shoulder, this side. So we don't really see it. Just gonna do this. Actually, we basically don't see it at all. It's gonna... kind of wrap around her arm here, but her arm is way off in the background, so... I think this one's actually just basically not going to be visible. And then the other one... right about here. Seems about right to me. Means her head might not quite be in the right spot. Let's go push him over just a touch. Something like that, maybe. Alright, I will go ahead and raise the opacity back up. Okay, I don't think I have this quite right. But things are going to be messy for now. That's fine. We will clean them up later. Okay, this leg may not be quite pointed in the right direction. I'm wondering if maybe I want it a little bit higher, although I don't know, I like the triangle. And if I had the leg pointing more like this, I'd lose some of the triangles, so this might be okay. I'll leave it like this for now. I'll try potential leg poses later, but this is helping me see some perspective. So, victory. And then, let's see. I'm not quite sure how I want to divide the colors, so I'll put that there. This way I can see where the legs are a little bit better. This leg still looks a little bit bulbous. Let's try to connect him just a little bit better. And I'll adjust it here, and then I'll go ahead and connect the leg proper underneath. I'll just make the same kind of movement here. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. And overalls. I'm still not quite satisfied here. It's fine if I erase the strap a little bit. Okay, and let me see on the side here. The side is actually kind of cut out. So, let's see. Where does it go down to on the side? Probably, like, right about to here. That is just the style of these overalls. They're just kind of cut out right down there. Okay, and I'll go ahead and draw some of the patterns just to kind of help me see. So we're gonna have like a little pouch somewhere right here. It's gonna go all the way to the edge here and come out kind of like this. The purpose of this is to help me with perspective, so I actually want to make sure that I get the perspective kind of right. And that means it has to, like, have a fairly extreme curve here in order to be correct. And here, indeed, I think should be almost straight down. Because even though it gets much wider on the side, the nature of the perspective here means that it will not look that much wider. So I think that is right. All right. I'm not sure about this leg. I am not sure about that leg. Let me derp around with it and see if I can get something that kind of follows a shape that I think will look a little bit better. Or maybe what I should do is put a shape around the knee where it kind of is going to go down. And maybe that'll also help. I don't know. Okay, this is another case of I have a vision, so just bear with me here. Trust. Trust in me. I got this. Okay, and then I will rotate the leg accordingly. Yeah, that's a little bit better, maybe? Question mark? Seems fine. Alright, let's give her her shirt. The overalls will go on top, and we will have a shirt here. The shirt will be white. Okay. So, this shirt kind of hangs off one shoulder, the same side that the overalls kind of hang off the one shoulder. So that means that we will not see that happening, really. And it'll just kind of you know, do something like this. Huh, what's that coming from? Is that part of the overalls? Okay, that must have been from when I was experimenting with the other strap. This one will go over her shoulder here. Is it loose? I mean, yes, but I would not say it's especially loose around her torso. So I will follow the shape. And then we'll have a sleeve doing a thing kind of like this around the arm back there. Alright, yeah, because it's hanging off her shoulder. Okay. I will draw all the other decorations and stuff later, but I'd say that this is a decent start for a pose, so let's give her a face. How's that sound? I think it's making sense. And that's kind of what matters at the start. Let's go ahead and put a little division here, so this way we know where her back arm is. That'll probably look different at some point later. I actually think that this pocket needs to be a little bit longer. It's actually quite large. I underestimated its largeness. Let this kind of wrap around here a little. Get that right way down there. Okay, I think that's about right. Her legs might still need a little bit of tweaking, but this is still kind of the thing I'm going for. How does her body and head proportion look? At the very least, I still feel like it has its energy, so that is nice. We're just going to use transform tools to help me get this angle right here. Transform tools are nice. I live for the liquefy tool. Okay. Okay. And then maybe the shoulder here kind of comes back just a little. And I would like to change the white color I picked on the torso to be a different color. It worked for the time, but no longer is, and I guess this blue is fine. I'm not going to use it anywhere else. There, so now I can get a better feel for where the shirt actually is. I do plan on giving her a face, I just need a moment. I want to make sure that it is kind of covering the right spots of her here. Maybe I should draw the little picture on there. I don't know what color it's going to be yet. So I'll just make it black. It's a little palette. It doesn't really look like it yet, but that's fine. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think that helped me see a little bit better. Okay. Seems good to me. Let's go ahead and make her larger. Just the whole thing. And I want her a little bit more over here, so I will go and do that, and then I will put the paint splatter where it's supposed to go. Krita thought I was dragging, and dragged everything I just did into the garbage can, which deleted it, and I had a mini heart attack. Control-Z exists! We're fine! Okay. Now, let's just get some nice angles here. Let's see. I don't know. Do I want it to be more straight down, or does a nice Dutch angle sound fun for today? I don't know. Let's try things. As you do. Nah, I prefer it normal. Okay. Gonna do it like this. How do I feel about the proportions? I think I need a face. Let's give her a face. So, I already have a head here. Let's give her some eyelashes. I already know they're going to be white. So, they might not be white, actually. They might need to be black. But for now, while the head is hot pink, we'll make them white. Or if not black, maybe purple. Or pink. I don't know, man. Colors. They will be a color. Let's see. Hololive doesn't really draw the side lashes, but I do, so... I'm just staring at the shape of her eyes for a moment so I can get a feel for how they need to go. And I think it's gonna be something like... Let's see, I can picture the planes of her face here, I think. They're round, and then they kind of go into a sharp angle. And then... Are they round or are they flat at the bottom? Kinda round? I'd say kind of round. I kind of like my eyes, actually. Now that I look at it. With kind of the extreme angle going over here. A little bit flat on the top, but also a little bit round. I think this part needs to come out a little bit more straight. There we go. That seems pretty good. And then I will curve the bottom just a little bit more. Alright, seems good. Maybe this part is too high. Tilting my head so I can see this in a more straight-on perspective. It's like I could rotate the canvas, but I could also not rotate the canvas. So, here we are. Okay. And then I'll draw the other side. So we have this kind of shape, and then it's going to come at an even more extreme angle. Just because this is the side of the face, and I'm pretty sure I do not have this placed correctly, and that both of these eyes are a little bit too small. That's fine. There we go, we make them big. Nice and big. I just need to get that initial shape sketched, and I can go from there. Okay, and now I will liquefy this guy into place here. Let it wrap around her head. Okay, seems good. Get it to the right spot, get it to be the right size. All those nice things, and I don't know, this looks pretty in perspective to me. Maybe I just need to push the corner in just a little bit more, but otherwise seems okay. Seems okay to me. We'll start with things like this. Let me just check it real quick. It's okay, guys. This is why I am practicing perspective, like super hardcore. What better way to practice perspective than to do crazy things like this? Am I right? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick another color. I guess blue is fine, and I'm gonna define the front plane of her face, just so I can see a little bit better. There we go. And then we have the chin, which is a triangle. Just plop on there, and there we go. This should hopefully let me see a little bit better. Yeah. And then we're gonna have an ear, like, over here. Here, I think, is, like, probably, like, right here? Maybe a little lower. Like, right there. So that means I want the chin to do something like this. This is how I fixed my jawlines. And so far, it's working for me. And I'm very pleased. Oh, I am so happy, man. Because I have spent so much time flailing at how heads work. And just having such a bad time every time I need to go draw a chin. Because I was never quite sure where I should put them. Okay. So, gonna put my triangle back in. I think it does that. That looks pretty good. So now I have the front plane. And it's funny to me because for so long I was trying to define faces as round, because they kind of are. But when I turned them into squares with a triangle on the bottom, it became so much easier. I can see it so much better. See, now I know exactly where to put that eye. It is fantastic. And I know that the head is, like, going this direction. So I can use that to help me place the eyes. And this is what makes sense to me in my head. This is exactly why I was having so much trouble finding methods that work for me, because... Well, I mean, look at this. Look at this nonsense. Does this make sense to anyone but me? No, I'm pretty sure that any experienced artist looking at this would know exactly what I'm doing. And know exactly what's going on in my head. But... I just had to find the method that worked for me, and indeed, just turning everything into squares was much easier for me than turning everything into a bunch of different basic shapes, like using cylinders for certain things. Like, screw it. Arms, squares. They are rectangles. They are rectangles. And I will have it no other way. Eyes, rectangle. I put them together, and then I divide it in half, more or less. So this is singular rectangle. Divided in half. I think that might still be a little bit crooked, but that's probably fine for now. I need to finish defining the rest of the shape of her head here. And I think once I'm able to do that, then everything else will kind of come together a little bit better. I'm not satisfied with the location of her chin, because instead of drawing the proper triangle from my face plane here, I used what I already had, and I shouldn't do that. So I'm gonna draw my face plane a little bit more correctly. Let's give her a face. I'll just make it black for now. We'll give her a nose. Nose. gonna be like, probably right about here, and then a mouth. Nose needs to go a little bit further to the side. Okay, there we go. And now I can construct the rest of her face from that. So where I just said the ear was is probably a little far away. Actually, ear based on the nose, I think it's gotta be more like this. We might actually see it, so maybe I should actually draw it properly in a new layer or something, but you know, this is fine for now. Nah, I changed my mind. I'm gonna draw it proper on another layer or something. Let's go. So we have her eyes and her nose here. That's how I figure out the proportions of the ears. It's gonna be... like, this is anime, so the ear is really small. Her face is gonna be, like, super cute, so that also makes the ear really small. So, I don't know, something like that. This seems cool. This seems cool. Not exactly the right shape, but I think it's in a decent enough location that I can now figure out the rest of the shape of her head. We have an eye, we have a nice little cheek here. Let her face be nice and squishy. I'm definitely going to have to make this a lot larger, but let me carve out the basic shape first before I worry about proportion with the body. One thing at a time. So we got this part out here for the brows. Kind of comes in. Then we got a nice squishy cheek. Gotta start preparing the forehead and stuff, but let's get this nice squishy cheek first. Chin's going a little bit too far back. So let me draw my plane again. So we have the nose and the mouth here. So this is roughly where the jawline should end. Really want to get this area by the eyes looking nice. A very important little area. Oops. Okay. Here's where the jaw's gonna come out. Go ahead and take that color and start pulling it out. Make my nice triangle. And here, kind of up by the ear, and then this will go around. And even though this is going to be covered by hair, I will go ahead and start shaping it. Jaw needs to come up just a little bit more here. Just so where it connects to the ears, not quite so long. Okay, and now I can start making it round. Get the overall shape looking good. Get this forehead looking less mutant and protruding. Okay, There's the brow bone. This is where eyebrows are going to go. And then I can start rounding this just a little. To find the hairline and whatnot. This should be... follow the shape of her head a little bit better. Very important because this is where some stuff with her jaw is gonna work out. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty okay. Her eyes are a little bit big now because they were sized from the old head that I had. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and perfect the area by this eye now. Still feel like the forehead is protruding just a touch here. Just want to line things up with the eyes a little bit more nicely here. Mostly focused on the chin. Okay. And now we can get this little cheek. Again. It's okay. I don't necessarily have to get it right the first time. Sometimes it takes me a couple tries. Still got a little bit more alien in there that I would like. Okay, but I think this is probably fine for now. I'll go ahead and give her some eyeballs. Just because where the direction that her eyes go is important. Where she's looking, the gaze. And I'll go ahead and use this purple. So she's just going to be looking at us. The viewer. And we're not going to worry that things are kind of going out of bounds there. I always like to use perfect circles for that. And even though the eye white won't be visible, I still draw it just because it means that I can keep the eyes perfect circles and I can move them around a little bit more easily. When I have the eyes defined like this. Man, she's looking way more mischievous than I'm intending here. Expression's not quite right, but you know, that's okay. That's okay. The expression and whatnot, it'll all come together. Okay. I still feel a little crooked to me, though. Okay, and I think that might actually mean that the ear needs to be a little further down too, which is good because I felt like the jaw was a bit awkward too. So now I can pull that out, and I will just make her entire head much larger to make up for the fact that I had to change its size quite a lot. Man, this is quite a face. The colors just always are so wrong when I start a piece like this. It's kind of incredible, really. Just how wrong everything looks for so long. But after a while, you know, I get things the way I want them, and all is well. Okay, let's go ahead and put this back. I'll bring it up to 100%, and I'll even go ahead and erase this little bit that's going behind her. This is why I say I'm not 100% convinced that I'm going to use this color for the overalls, but I'll leave it there for now because I really do like to avoid using too many colors for this style when I can. Alright, and her lower leg here, I think I would like to tuck in just a little bit more. And then I guess I'll go ahead and give her some hair. Okay, what's her hair do? Let's go take a look. So we got some bangs, we got some side hair, and then we got her side ponytail. Okay. Straightforward enough. Let's get some of those bangs in. So they're gonna do a thing like this. And I'm not gonna be super worried about being neat for the time being. We're just gonna get some stuff in. Okay, now that one's gonna curve this direction, actually. There we go. And it'll all go into the side of her head here, and she's got a little framing bang here. Okay, and then we got some side hair that kinda goes down. I guess I can't use white for it right now. Let's go ahead and pick a nice neon color for this. I guess purple's fine. Oh no, I used purple there. I shouldn't use purple. Red it is. Okay. Red it is. Now then, so we have some side hair that does something. I kind of like that shape like this. Just gotta make it look good, you know? Then we got another one on this side. So I'll let it do something kind of similar, just thinner, I guess. Kind of want this one to spin a little bit more. And actually, I might have drawn that one bad for spinning. Yeah, I think I did. Okay. We'll redo this one too. We'll let this one come around and spin just a little bit more. No, that's going too far. It's not that long, is it? Goes probably to about here on her body. So, you know, maybe it is that long, actually. And then on this side, I'll let it kind of go at a little bit more of an extreme angle. I don't want it to completely cover her eyes, though. In fact, her side hair doesn't even cover her eyes, so I shouldn't draw that on this layer. I should draw it behind her head. Okay, I can do that. Okay, that seems fine. And then we got the side ponytail, which unfortunately is going to be largely hiding behind her head. Makes me think I should actually draw her in the other direction. I don't know, does this work if I mirror the whole thing? I guess it's fine. Okay. But that means that I have all of this backwards now. Okay, no, I'll think about it. I'll think about it, because I would have to mirror her pants, the shoulder strap here. It might actually make more sense for this one to be hanging off the shoulder, and this one to be more on the shoulder. So that might actually be a good idea. But I also kind of like this pant leg being the one above the knee, and this one being a little bit below the knee, but... Okay. No, I think it's going to be better this way. I'll just have to reverse her clothes. So we'll put her side ponytail. Gonna have her little thing here, and I will just... I don't know, do I want it to go that way? I probably want it to go around this way. In theory, I might have to think about that one, because her arm is like kind of in the way here. I just let it go around her arm then? I don't know, will that look good? No idea. Okay, so in that case, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on flipping the image horizontally. I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with her side ponytail, because, you know, maybe it makes more sense to have it with the rest of her back hair and let it kind of flip around and do flippy things, and I don't know. I think I gotta think about that one. So before I make the big decision there, I'll go ahead and leave it like that. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the hair on the back of her head and stuff. So I'll just make basically everything here red, and then I can decide how her bangs are going to be flying around. I think she's going to have like another little side bang here flipping up. Or a little front bang, rather. This guy will just come down here. This red really hurts my eyes, but I think it's fine. Things can hurt my eyes until it is time to make things right. Okay. Let's get her hairband here. And her hairband is going to be pink. For now, I'm just going to use this blue. So this should also help with perspective a little bit. And then with the way I have the clothes drawn right now, the hairband, the little things coming off of it are going to be like this. And that seems fine for now. Okay. I'm not quite sure if I have the perspective right. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, I don't. So I'll do what I did with my last drawing, and I'm going to take the whole thing, I'm going to put it in perspective, and I'm going to adjust her feet a little. And we're just going to warp this around a touch until I'm done for today, and then I'll look at it next time and I'll be like, wow, I got everything wrong. Look at me getting everything wrong. But I actually don't think it's that bad. I actually don't. And it's very likely that it's going to take me a couple of sessions to completely get it right. Just because perspective is hard. And this kind of pose actually is that complicated. At least for me. But I really want to get better at drawing stuff like this because I think it looks so cool when it's done right. And it's the kind of thing that just... when I nail it, and it's amazing, and I am always so happy. It's just a matter of actually, you know, nailing it. So I'll prod around with it just a little here. And we'll see what I can do. I want the twist here to be a little bit nicer too. That I'm going to adjust in the overalls, I think. As opposed to literally everything. Oh no, the twist goes this way. And then this would come up here. Okay, I'm gonna... I think her head is looking pretty okay, so I'm actually gonna go... And the colors on it are bothering me a little. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn her eyelashes black for now. And then her face white. And the hair can stay neon red for now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. Just because her hair is white and her face is white here. So I'm gonna need to pull some shenanigans. And the way I adjusted things, unfortunately, kind of stretched out the eyes, so I'm gonna need to kind of push those back in a little. I don't think they're really looking like her yet. The hair is. Sans side ponytail, which is incredibly sad, because I feel like that's like the most iconic part of her hair. But, that'll have to come a little bit later. The eyes feel a little bit far apart. Okay, I might need to put my colors back, because I think I'm gonna have to change the shape of her head again. Yeah, I think I am. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate. Okay, well, let me... I'm about out of time. I don't really have time to be flailing around here, so I'll just do something basic, just because I think I know it will fix it. Sometimes it is that easy. But, yeah, unfortunately, I am not quite at the skill level where I can do stuff like this without flailing with proportions. I'm working on it. I am working on it. I have been working pretty hard. I'm even doing a shenanigan in my next practice one where I'm drawing her upside down. So, there we go. That'll be for something that I'm working on off stream. Let me get this in the good spot, and yeah, I guess next time I will continue trying to figure out proportions. I think this will be really cool if I can get it right. I mean, I honestly, I already think it's looking pretty okay. It's not, like, awful. I can see what I'm thinking. I just do not ever think everything is quite proportionate yet. Perspective, maybe mostly correct. Proportions, no. But it's okay, I'll get there. I actually think... I'm gonna just think about which things I think I do have right. Head looks okay. With the adjustments that I just did, it kind of threw off the eyes and some other stuff, so I do think I'm going to have to correct the facial proportions a little bit more again. I do think that the size of the brush relative to her head is looking okay. This is a fairly large brush, so strictly speaking, it could be whatever size I want it to be, but I'm mostly looking at her hand, Looks like it's coming out of her hair right now since I used a bright red for both of them, but it's fine. I think that this is okay. And this arm, I think it is coming out of roughly the right spot. At most, I think I might need it a little bit higher up. But otherwise, I think it's good. The size looks pretty alright. It's the rest that I'm not quite sure on. The way the legs are going down, I think is good. This leg, I still think I might want to raise up a little bit. And then if we're talking pose energy, I think I actually want to do a little bit more of this again. Okay, there it goes. Is lagging a bit there. Just a little bit more of her going back here. And then I can figure out what's going on with the legs and some of the proportions in her chest and a bunch of other things that just... they're not quite right yet. And I think I already know how I'm going to go about that. So we have a head, and then I'm going to have her body. I'm going to divide her body in half, and that's going to be, like, where her legs should be. If that makes sense. So, if we ignore the head and just look at the body, if I divide the body in half, that's where the legs are going to go. So I have to figure out, based on the perspective that I've drawn, with, just, you know, a big box. The halfway point would be here. Naturally. But because of the perspective that I've drawn, it's more like, let's just draw it. Move it. You can see it's more like that. So the top half is going to be much larger. And I just have to figure out where that top part is. Because, like, even here, even though I drew it like that, this probably not where the leg should go. I do not think that the perspective I have is quite that extreme. It's maybe more like this or something. I don't know. That's a job for future me to figure out. But that's the basic idea of just, I take the box, I divide it in half, and that's where her leg should go. I divide it in half again, that's roughly where her chest and her knees should go, depending, you know, on which box I'm dividing in half. And that's just kind of what I gotta figure out. But I think this is a good start. I like the pose. I like what I got going here. In theory. I like the idea. But now, we just gotta turn it into something I want to look at. But that will be a job for Saturday. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. And maybe even try something hard. Something that sounds super fun. I'll see you all tomorrow.